Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show. How you doing? We're getting started. We are getting started. Welcome to the pre-show. What does the pre-show do? Well, let me tell you what it does. It tells everybody I'm starting my Facebook Live, and I'm going to start in about 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So, get ready. Well, you don't have to get ready, but you can get ready if you want to. I'm just going to sit here and stare aimlessly at the screen and say, welcome to the pre-show. Yeah, well, hopefully you're all having a great day. I know I am. I've been up early, then I went back to bed because a meeting that I went to got canceled. It was a 6 o'clock meeting. It was crazy, yeah. So I decided to go back to bed for about another hour. So it was good to know. Excuse me. So today is Connected Geek Tech Tips, episode number 9. We've hit the number 9 mark. Tomorrow, we're going to hit the number 10 mark. We're going to get double digits. Look out. And if you didn't know what today is, can you guess what today is? Today is Antivirus. We're going to talk about Antivirus. Are you excited about Antivirus? I'm sure you are. I know I am because we're going to talk about it. So in about 3 minutes, we're going to get going. And so if anybody shows up early, you can say hi, see what's going on. So anybody, anyone? Bueller? You know, I always wanted to say that. So, excuse me. Connected Geek Tech Tips. I think I do this pre-show more for me, just to kind of get out the nerves. And I don't know if anybody does any live work like this. It's, people get butterflies. They really do. And even the most tenured actors and people that sit in front of the screen or do this. I had a conversation with Roop Raj. I don't know if anybody knows who Roop Raj is on Fox 2 News. And I was asking him that same exact question, and he said, yeah, he gets butterflies just like everybody else. So it's what people do. People are people. Does anybody know what song that's from? People are people. Come on. Any 80s folks? Nah. Showing my age, I guess. That's alright. 80s music rocks, in my opinion. In my opinion. It was Depeche Mode, if anybody cares to know. If anybody cares to know. I talk too fast. I gotta slow down. Slow down. So we're about a minute and a half. Get ready. Come on, everybody. Get ready. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Let's get this party started. Come on, Larry. Quit looking, sounding weird. My back's a little sore today. I think I slept wrong. All right, 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning. When we get down, we'll go 10, 9. Then I have to be quiet for 1 second beforehand so I can edit out this mumbo jumbo. Because the podcast, I don't want all this on the podcast. Yes, I am making a podcast, and the podcast is on iTunes and Google Play. So if you want to go over to those platforms and subscribe to my 9th episode, which is going to happen in 30 seconds, go on and do it. And thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching. Hopefully this show will give you some information about Antivirus and keep you informed on what to do and how to do it. I am going to get rid of the pre-show. Bye-bye. See ya. And then I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, everybody. Welcome, humans, and welcome to the planet Earth. It's a great place to live. Did you guys see that moon the other night? That was amazing. Only place you can see that moon was the planet Earth, and you were there, and you saw it. I really hope you saw it, because I thought it was great. Well, Today, we're not talking about the moon. We're talking about antivirus. Yes, antivirus. I'm sure you're riveted, and it's a riveting subject, and you really wanted to talk about it tonight. Well, I'm going to try and make it interesting. Well, at least I'm going to hope to make it interesting. So let's get right into it. What happened to my screen? It decided to not work. Oh, now there it is. I found it. I found my screen. Did you find it? Did you find this screen? Well, it's here on your screen that you're watching. Thank you, EJ, for joining us. And I wave to you too. Hi. We're talking about antivirus tonight. Come on over and watch the next slide. It says, hello, humans. I already said those things. Why am I saying it again? I don't need to say it again. Let's say I'm Larry Miller, and I'm from Connected Geek, and that's where you can find information about me, connectedgeek.net. And if you need to know anything about technology, you want to get trained, you want to know something about Wi-Fi, or you need to have your environment reviewed to see if you need new computers, a new server, or even if you need a website, or social media, I can do all those things. Get a hold of me, go to my website, go to the top, and it says schedule an appointment. Talk to me, Larry Miller. So let's get right into antivirus, guys. First slide equals, what did we talk about the last 2 days? Well, 2 days ago we talked about how to buy a new computer, or what kind of parameters or what kind of choices you need to have. We talked about that. So go back to 2 episodes and find out what we talked about and then catch up. Yesterday, I had a really fun time learning about, just in the research, the difference between Mac, PC, and Linux. Stuff that, I've been around the PC, Mac world for 25 years. I learned all kinds of new things about that. So if you want to learn some new things, go to yesterday's episode and check it out. But today we are talking about antivirus. And I just put a couple of them, AVG, Avast, WebRoot. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to put antivirus on your Mac or your Linux because they're not really targeted. The ones that are targeted is Windows. And so, unfortunately, most of the world has Windows, and most of us have to endure the Windows platform. But it's what we do. It's how we communicate, how we work, how we do everything. So we have to protect ourselves. And so we're going to talk about how to protect ourselves with antivirus. So this next slide is just telling you what we're talking about again. I probably should take this slide out. Why did I do that? It doesn't matter. It's the same stuff we're just talking about, but I'm bringing it to your attention. This slide, so it's kind of busy, and the point I'm trying to make with this slide, and I'm sure every single person that's even ever going to watch this episode, what is the best antivirus to download? What's for free? Antivirus free. Whatever you choose to type in your Google search to find the best antivirus. If you notice, I went out and I did a whole bunch of searches doing some research for this episode. Well, guess what? Every single one of them was different. There was no 2 websites that I found that identified the top antivirus, free or otherwise. There's not one of them was the same. As you can see that WebRoot, Avast, Kaspersky, McAfee, Total AV, and Bitdefender. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different websites. None of them told the same thing. None of them. So what does that tell you? What does that tell me? It says that there's not consistency in any of the antiviruses out there. There's not any consistency in how people are identifying what works best for them. Antivirus does exactly what it's geared to do. It's supposed to protect yourself from viruses, malware, spam, whatever they tout that it talks about. They all do basically the same thing. It's just feature set and what type of features that you think that you might need. You want a very small footprint, or so basically what I mean by footprint, it doesn't take up much memory, take up much space on your computer. One of the softwares that I like best because of that is called WebRoot. It seems to work really well for me. It does really good at scanning protection for computers has a nice web interface that you can add all of your workstations to and manage from that web interface if you wanted to, or you can just load them individually on each workstation and manage it that way. All of them have something similar like that, but I think WebRoot has the most feature set when it comes to that, and it can really not take up much space on your computer and not much RAM, and it still protects you actively and consistently. So, in my opinion, where did it go? In my opinion, it's all about preference. And we're going to kind of go deeper into doing what antivirus can and can't do for you. We're going to go through some of the do's and don'ts, some pluses and minuses. So let's go into the next slide. So what is the importance of antivirus? Antivirus is a program which makes your system clean and secure from harmful viruses, worms, attacks through a scanning process. It detects suspicious websites and files that contain malicious programs before they enter the computer and block malicious tracking software from being downloaded to your system. That's a mouthful, but it does just that. It protects you from something happening maliciously onto your computer. And we want to make sure that when we install antivirus on our computers, we are putting the best solution for us. As I showed you in the previous slide, you have all these different options out there. There's plenty of things to choose from. Some, as I said, WebRoot has a small footprint depending on how you install it. If you put on AVG, which is the first one I showed in my title, that particular software, if you install the free version, even the paid version, you get all kinds of pop-ups, and the pop-ups say, "Hey, buy this other piece of software. Hey, we have this other option you should enable," or "Hey, you're 3 versions behind. Update." It's always popping up for the free version. Now, the paid version has less pop-ups, but it's still annoying. When I want my antivirus on my computer to do its job, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to do its job and not bug me about it. I get that I need to update my definitions, but it should do it automatically. If the program needs to be updated, just update the program. I don't want to deal with it. I deal with so many different computers. I don't want to deal with the headache of, is my computer system safe or not? And if I put the right software on there, then I can do it for me. I know that there's plenty of really good software out there that protects your computers, but it's like I said, it's all about preference, at least from my point of view. So at least here's 7 reasons why you must get an antivirus program. It helps your computer's performance. So if you don't have a virus on there, or you're not getting a maliciousware or some sort of program that's attacking all of your files where it's replicating itself, it's like a Trojan horse. I'm not going to get into too deep details of what each kind of virus is. If you guys want me to go deep into that, please let me know, and I can pick apart what a virus does and how each of them impact each other. We're just kind of doing a high-level overview right now so we can get people familiar with what antivirus can and can't do. I've gotten plenty of questions in my career. It's like, why do I need antivirus? I surf properly. I take care of how I go out to the internet. Well, not everybody surfs the same way, and not everybody has the same style of getting information. I just had a client just the other day. They got an email. It looked like a legitimate email. It looked like everything was happening properly. Had the right subject from the same person that they get periodic emails from, and sometimes they get an invoice from that person. Well, they open up the invoice, and guess what? It sent an email to all of her contact lists. And yes, it perpetuated itself. The next person opened it up, thought it was something legitimate from that person. Well, guess what? It did it again, and it did it again. Those are happening all the time, all over the place. And if you use Microsoft Outlook, and you open it up inside of there, it's going to happen because it's, as I've mentioned in previous talks, people are our own worst enemy. And what happens is we are the ones that are causing these kind of problems and hiccups. As I say down here at the bottom, not all antivirus programs protect you from getting a computer virus. Humans are the number one reason why, in my opinion, because we're curious by nature, and we try to find out things. And if somebody sends me an email, I want to look at it. And if I'm opening it up in Outlook, those viruses are targeting Microsoft products, targeting Microsoft applications. So what's happening is those people are susceptible to that type of clickbait, as I would call it. Another reason is to keep your children safe online. There are some really nasty things out here on the internet, some awful, awful things. And if you get a virus on your computer, you could potentially get a pop-up, and an inappropriate picture or inappropriate language can potentially pop up on your computer if you don't have antivirus on your computer. As I mentioned before, it protects you from spam, it protects you from hackers. If you get a virus on your computer and it starts grabbing information about you, like your credit card numbers and your passwords and files that you've written that are protected and safe, that are supposed to be of some sort of secret, that type of information potentially could be taken out and given to somebody else or used for nefarious purposes. We don't want that. Obviously, it'll extend your computer because, that it's not using so many other resources. There's viruses out there that will take over your computer and, that will take over your computer and start, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts giving out information. So let's say when the internet first came into play a long, long, long time ago, there was everybody was sharing music. Napster was one of the names, if you recall. Napster would allow you to share music with your friends as long as they had the same application, and you could share music amongst each other. That's what it was all about, and that's how the sharing idea came about. Well, people took that to the next level and made viruses out of it. And what they would do is they would build a virus type Napster thing, and they would stream out or give out inappropriate materials for people to gather from your computer, and you would never even know it. And you're like, why is my computer so slow? Well, because you have a virus that's pushing out information that may be inappropriate, and because you got a virus and you don't even know that you did. So that's why it's important to have antivirus software. Obviously, the most important one is peace of mind. All right. Let's go back to... So, just to kind of keep on the same mindset, 5 most common ways that you can get a virus on your computer. Obviously, opening up attachments, as I mentioned before. Downloading software from malicious sites. What that means is, if you're going to websites that maybe you shouldn't be going to, maybe there's websites that you're trying to do some research and you click on something and it takes you to some place that you've never been before, and you click on it because you want to read something or you want to look at something that's interesting to you. Well, that's that clickbait I mentioned before. That clickbait, oh, you're coming to a Star Wars site, hypothetically. Well, you wanted to see Chewbacca beating up a stormtrooper or something, and you open up the picture, and what happens is that picture is infected. It's infected with something where they can potentially bring information onto your computer. So it's just important just to pay attention to where you're going. If it's a site that doesn't look legitimate, one of the key factors to look at for a website to help you protect yourself, one, up in the bar, if it doesn't say HTTPS as in Sam, that's a secure website. That's one factor. Another factor is, does it have a .com next to the domain? That's great if it does, but is the website name super long, or is it have all kinds of weird characters in it that, based upon the website you went to, maybe that might not be where you're supposed to go. If you do a Google search, a lot of times, Google has already done a lot of scanning of the internet to the point where they would say, this website doesn't look legitimate, or it's kind of fishy. Remember earlier in the conversation I talked about WebRoot. WebRoot has a plugin for your Internet Explorer, for your Firefox, for your Chrome, which we're talking about tomorrow, those particular browsers. So come back tomorrow and watch that. And what it does, it gives a little green check mark next to the website to say that it's a clean website. So it's protecting yourself from downloading crazy stuff. Another one is online ads. To help you protect yourself from online ads, one is have that plugin from one of those antivirus solutions, which 99% of them have a plugin to protect you. But you could also get a plugin for your, Google Chrome, and it's called Block Ads, for example, and it'll block ads so to protect yourself from getting those getting those viruses through those ads, because clicking on an ad can potentially open up something which causes you to have problems. Now, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Chrome. When Internet Explorer was first brought to the scene, people were getting viruses all over the place because Internet Explorer basically allowed everything and anything to come through. And people would just attack it all the time because it had so many security holes in it. So over time it got better and better, but then Chrome came out and Firefox came out, and another one's called Opera, and there's another one I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I can't remember the name. Anyway, Microsoft Edge, which is basically Internet Explorer on all made pretty. And so what would happen is Internet Explorer would let everything through, and it would just mess everything up. Well, Chrome and Firefox changed the way we browse by doing some checks and balances prior to it actually delivering the website to you. It's all in milliseconds. You can't really see it, but it's helping you stay safe when you go to the internet. And I know everybody here, and we talked about this last week, social media. Stay away from those games or those particular things where they say, well, put your face on a dragon, or put your face on a or manipulate your face, or play this game about see which Harry Potter character you are. Those kind of things potentially can download something to your computer and give you a virus. Remember I told you in the previous slide, we humans are the ones that allow viruses in more than the antivirus protecting us from them. We choose to allow those things to come in because we're overriding the antivirus by saying, yes, I still want that to come. Like we did with Microsoft Outlook. I told you that they double-clicked on it. They had antivirus on their computer. They had everything to protect themselves, but it wasn't the right protection because they chose for it to still come through. We always have a choice, and we can say no to those kinds of things. Just say no. I also mentioned this before, patching. This is really important to make sure that your computer has the latest and greatest security patches for Microsoft, Mac, Linux. All those places have updates. You just have to initiate them, or Microsoft, you can tell it to do it automatically. Just do them automatically. That way you're protected. I know they're annoying. I know they take forever for them to install. But just start it before you go to bed, and boom, it's done typically when you wake up. Sometimes it breaks things. I get it. But it's better to be protected than have a computer infected. It's better to be protected than be infected. That's a nice little rhyme. All right, so protect your computer by patching it. Next one, we're going to go to now. I know it's kind of the same type of slide, but it's just a little bit of a twist on it. So, I've talked about phishing emails. I talked about it just a moment ago. Rogue websites; those are malicious websites that keep you. So, I'm sure you've heard of what they call the dark web. Well, the dark web is just basically websites that either don't have a domain name to them, or just has an. If you ever get a website that just has an IP address and no name to it, I would back out, turn off your computer instantly, because you do not want to be going to that. Unless it's a corporate environment used through what is called a VPN, a virtual private network, and it has an IP address that particular, and it's going to a resource inside your company, that's different. Now, if it's a like a 2-digit, like let's say 75, 75, 33, 22, right? Hypothetically. And it has all kinds of weird characters, or it has weird, even strange characters. It's like if it's XC3444AA and slash something, those are not good sites. You want to stay away from those type of sites, and anything that doesn't seem legitimate. Everybody has a gut feeling when you go to a website or doing something like that. Just use your gut feeling and say no. Just close it right away. When I say infected boot disks, so let's say you bought a computer from secondhand from your second cousin's sister or brother, whatever, and you turn it on and you don't reinstall the computer from scratch or start over from scratch. You do not know what's on that computer. You don't know what that computer was doing in the first place. You don't know where it was, if it was infected. So if you ever come across a computer that hasn't come fresh out of the box or says reloaded based upon the refurbishment of it, I would just reinstall the computer from scratch. Put a new disk in, put a new USB drive in, or tell Windows 10 to reinstall itself. Those types of things will help protect you, because the infected boot disks won't have those viruses anymore. They'll be wiped away. Freeware, that doesn't say, most people don't know that term much anymore. Pretty much everything that you download on the internet, you play or install or whatever, is really free. The term was used a lot back in the early days of the internet, because people were trying to sell their software all the time, and to get people to get their software or to use it, and to kind of pull them in to buy something from the stuff, they would call it freeware. And you would download the freeware, you play a free game, do something that was fun or enjoyable or entertaining or whatever it was. This freeware sometimes had viruses in them, and that would cause your computer just to completely crash and unusable, wipe the hard drive, that kind of thing. It was a crazy time. Another one is to going along the same lines of the boot disk. A couple ago, but before that, external hard drive. So your flash drive, external hard drive that you use for your backup. I hope everybody's doing a backup. It's important that you do a backup. Do a backup. Do a backup. Do a backup. Buy an external hard drive for $80 at Micro Center or Best Buy, and buy a hard drive and do a backup. Do it every day if you have to. Macs have a time machine. Just plug it in, time machine, and go. All right, I'm off my backup high horse box, whatever you want to call it. I'm done. But back it up. Anyway. External hard drives, if you don't know where it came from, potentially could have a virus on them. So make sure you wipe them, format them, and if you need help doing that, get a hold of me and I'll walk you through to do that, because viruses are spread so quickly through a USB flash drive, quicker than you can think of. You just plug it in and it pretty much could do everything the TV shows talk about, and wipe out a whole computer system network just in a matter of minutes. We've already talked about online ads. We've already talked about social media. Just stay safe on the internet. All right, let's go to the next one. So here are my recommendations for what I think has worked best for me when it comes to antivirus on a Windows-based computer. You still can get antivirus for Mac and Linux. Personally, I don't see any reason why. But if you wanted to and wanted to feel safe, remember the peace of mind. Well, that peace of mind will help you keep that information safe from the malicious people, and just keep yourself safe. That's important. The one that I like best, and it's probably like $20 per computer, and it's worth every penny in my opinion, is WebRoot. Just buy the paid version and you're good. Now, if you don't have the money for it and you still want to protect yourself, you can download AVG, you can download Avast, Kaspersky. All of those are really good antivirus programs. You just have to deal with the free side of it, which is what I said, possibly a pop-up, possibly getting advertisements from them to buy their more products, or advertisements to say use this option, which in turn will possibly want you to buy another piece of software. Just stay away from it if you can, but if you don't have the money, go ahead and just get the free version. Another thing you absolutely need to do is it's called Malwarebytes. You need to download Malwarebytes. No matter what antivirus solution you choose, always get Malwarebytes as well. It's a supplement to what WebRoot AVG already does. I've used both of them for years, and Malwarebytes has gotten rid of things that even WebRoot can't get rid of, or even AVG can't get rid of. It just talks to the computer system a little differently, and it grabs things that WebRoot and AVG may not capture. So Malwarebytes is, you need to get that. Just need to. It's a must-have. All right, so that was a quick little half an hour overview of antivirus. I probably went pretty quick, and I'm sorry if I did. But it's real important that you just protect yourself, take the time, research it. If you don't have the time or want the time to do it, just reach out to me, and I'll do my best to help you in any way I can. You've been a great audience. I thank you for your time, and if you want to get any help installing your antivirus, any help looking for antivirus, or any other aspects of your computer needs, reach out to me. I am Larry Miller. I am of Connected Geek. Please go to my website at connectedgeek.net. Up at the top right hand side, there's a schedule an appointment. I'll reach out to you. No cost to you. I'll just talk to you. We'll figure something out. We'll get you connected. We'll get you working on your computer as fast and as quick as possible. Beyond that, thank you for your time, and I'll see you tomorrow when we talk about Internet Explorer, Firefox, AVG. No, we talked about AVG already. We're going to talk about Chrome. Chrome is what we're going to do. I love Chrome, so you can see why I love it tomorrow. And there's a couple other browsers. Come back tomorrow and find out which they are. See you later. Take care. Oh, be excellent to each other.